So in case you haven't heard, YouTube has had a change in leadership with the former CEO having stepped down. Right here we have a personal update from Susan Wojcicki herself, the former CEO, who kind of talked about why she's leaving and, the next leadership who will be taking over and whatnot. So right down here, we can see that she posted, "Hi YouTubers, 25 years ago I made the decision to join a couple of Stanford graduate students who were building a new search engine. Their names were Larry and Sergey, the creators of Google." She's kind of been there since the beginning. For the last 9 years, I've been the CEO of YouTube. Today, after 25 years here at Google, I've decided to step back from my role as the head of YouTube and start a new chapter focused on my family, health, and personal projects I'm passionate about. I guess she just wants a better work-life balance and also just wants to pursue things beyond what she's been doing the last 25 years working at Google. And then she talks about the guy who'll be taking over, Neil Mohan. He'll be SVP and new head of YouTube. I've spent nearly 15 years of my career working with Neil. He's been an executive at YouTube for a while now. His role grew to become SVP of display and video ads at one point, and then he became YouTube's chief product officer in 2015. Since then, he has set up a top-notch product and UX team, played pivotal roles in the launch of some of our biggest products, including YouTube TV, YouTube Music, and YouTube Premium and Shorts, and has led our trust and safety team, ensuring that YouTube lives up to its responsibility as a global platform. So he's definitely been very hands-on with all the development surrounding YouTube. He has a wonderful sense for our product, our business, our creator and user communities, and our employees. Neil will be a terrific leader for YouTube. And then from there, she further adds that with all we're doing across short streaming and subscriptions, together with the promises of AI, YouTube's most exciting opportunities are ahead, and Neil is the right person to lead us. And as for what she'll be doing in the short term, she said that she plans to support Neil and help with the transition. And she will stay on as an advisory role across Google and Alphabet. But beyond that, she's kind of moving on. Obviously, news of this spread like wildfire. This is a pretty big deal. News outlet Exerto tweeted about YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki stepping down. And you can see right here, 27.5 million views at 163,000 likes. And for those who don't know who Neil Mohan is, here he is, former chief product officer, now turned head of YouTube. Various news outlets have described the legacy that Wojcicki left behind, and I think Forbes put it best here when they said in their article on this development that she leaves a mixed legacy with YouTube content creators. On one hand, it is reported that Wojcicki took significant steps to combat disinformation on YouTube and helped grow the platform extensively. The number of daily users has approximately doubled since Wojcicki took the helm at YouTube, and new offerings like a music streaming service and YouTube TV have increased its range of content. But on the other hand, YouTube content creator sentiment surrounding her leadership are complicated because of decisions like removing the dislike button, which to this day irks me to no end, because YouTube is ultimately a platform for content, and content has to be able to be rated. The user reviews can provide glanceable information that may inform whether this video is a waste of time or not, or whether a topic is, controversial or not. Much like how many movie and TV show streaming platforms and review websites have some kind of rating system where critics and people can rate it, between 1 and 5 stars or whatever, YouTube needs to have a similar system where it's not just about the number of likes, where we can't really tell what the sentiments are surrounding the content. It has to be emphasized that YouTube isn't like Facebook or Twitter, where the main goal is interactions between people. That's kind of the main thing that drives those platforms, which is why not having a dislike button for platforms that focus on people having exchanges makes sense. But when it comes to YouTube, that's a platform where it's about making creatively driven content or information-driven content, and it's more akin to, making a movie or making a show or something along those lines. And that kind of content where it's not necessarily about direct interactions with people, but providing something to people, some kind of like product, if you will, a platform that emphasizes that needs a proper rating system where people are allowed to like or dislike something, because in this environment, the quality of the content matters. There are more drawbacks to removing the dislike button than there are benefits. And it's a decision that still doesn't sit right with me, and I'd say with the vast majority of people who use YouTube. Forbes also brings up the negative sentiment surrounding the automated flagging and demonetization policies, which are far too vague and wildly inconsistent, which is why just over the past few months alone, we've seen content creators with no ill intent have many of their videos demonetized or limited in ads for just the dumbest reasons. For example, recently YouTube changed their policy surrounding the kind of violence and inappropriate languages that can be featured word in a video. If you say a cuss word in the first 8 seconds of a video, then that will be instantly demonetized, something that people were not aware of before this rule was enacted. And this rule retroactively affects videos that were posted before this rule was put into place. So a bunch of videos got demonetized as a result, especially the shorter ones where, there might be 1 or 2 cuss words at the beginning and only every once in a while feature a cuss word here and there. Those will get demonetized as well, even though YouTube's policy says that, as long as you're not cussing all the way throughout the whole video, you'll be fine. But the way that parameter is defined is so vague that it's hard to tell how many cuss words we can say in a video before YouTube decides, oh, that's way too inappropriate. It just seems to be wildly inconsistent how the demonetization is applied. Same with the policy surrounding violence. It casts such a wide umbrella, and the enforcement of the policy is so inconsistent that it's hard to tell what is safe content to make. What is content that won't get demonetized, that won't make all your efforts just worthless because it'll be algorithmically negatively impacted, and monetization-wise, those videos will be dead in the water. That's on top of the fact that systems like copyright claiming and copyright striking is still very abusable, where anyone can go in and just copyright strike a channel and take a video down and negatively impact its performance because they either want to screw with someone or they didn't like a video's criticism of them, so they're able to abuse the copyright system. YouTube has just not taken steps to mitigate those kinds of situations, hasn't put any safeguards in place. There's also the way automated copyright claims work, where videos will automatically get demonetized because it might feature a couple seconds worth of a copyrighted music, even though the content itself is transformative and the focus isn't the copyrighted work. And when your videos do get wrongly copyright struck or copyright claimed or demonetized, the appealing process, the rebuttal process is just so screwed up where, if YouTube decides that, we're in the right, then there's no other recourse, even if they're in the wrong. YouTube has all final say, so even if there is clear evidence that your video did not deserve to get copyright claimed or copyright struck or demonetized, if YouTube's review system, whether it's manual or, some kind of AI bot does it, if their system decides that your video was flagged appropriately and that their deliberation is the correct one, even if it's not, then that's it. There have been instances where people have requested manual reviews of flagged or demonetized content, but the manual review will inaccurately say that the video is inappropriate, or the manual review will happen in less time than the length of the video, which makes it evident that either it was a human being who didn't do their due diligence or some bot was put in charge, which has its own biases. So yeah, look, I'm not saying that Susan Wojcicki didn't do anything good, but there are many proactive steps that weren't taken to stabilize the creator environment. This is still a platform with a lot of uncertainty, where policies can change on a whim without communication, where videos can get wrongfully flagged, and those who wrongfully flagged it can get away with it, where copyright can still be abused, where YouTube's own appeal system can be very inaccurate or very unhelpful or work against you, which is why so many content creators like myself have resorted to doing sponsorships, why I'm so grateful that, there are folks out there supporting me on Patreon and whatnot. Like, that stuff just gives me more of a sense of security than fully relying on YouTube's ad revenue system. Like, there's still a lot of work to be done for creators to feel like YouTube is a safe and stable career path. Now, there are some prominent YouTubers who have provided their own perspective, like Marquez Brownlee here, who is one of the biggest YouTubers on the platform, who does a lot of tech reviews and whatnot. He tweeted, "YouTube has had its problems over the years, but then you look around at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Google+, etc., and realize it's been one of the most stable, consistent platforms for creators for the better part of a decade. The easy take on Susan leaving is, yay, the source of all our problems is gone. But if we're honest, the CEO of YouTube often unfairly becomes the scapegoat for literally everything that goes wrong at the company, no matter what actually happens. This won't change for the new CEO. The truth is, YouTube will continue to grow and change and have problems and fix problems, and will probably continue to be the most stable, reasonable place to exist as a creator, as long as they keep listening to creators like they have." From the outside in, it looks like nobody listens to creators but YouTube, and he bullet lists some of the things that they've done, like creator award plaques, creator summits in multiple regions across the globe. Literal CEO goes on creator shows, does interviews, whereas Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, ... they've done nothing of the sort. Look, I do agree that YouTube is better than these other platforms for creators, but just because something is better doesn't mean it's in a good enough place. Like, do I think getting punched in the face is better than being kicked in the nuts? Yes. Do I like getting punched in the face? No. And I feel like it's a lot easier to tout how stable and consistent a platform has been when you're one of the top creators on that platform who doesn't necessarily have to deal with a lot of what the mid to lower level creators have to deal with on YouTube. Let's not pretend that a platform's rules and policies are applied equally. The more influence somebody has, the higher standing they have on a platform, and the more important they are to a platform, the more special treatment they'll get, the more immune they'll be to certain things. And look, not to say that YouTube isn't a viable career. I've made a viable career out of it for the past, over a decade now. But saying that you've got all these other platforms that are worse than YouTube and less stable than YouTube doesn't excuse YouTube's still problematic elements. It doesn't mean we shouldn't hold the platform accountable when they can be better. And a big part of a platform getting better involves just good leadership. And Susan leaves behind, indeed, a mixed legacy on that front. While I do acknowledge that YouTube is this big, complicated machine with a lot of cogs and the CEO isn't at fault for every single little problem, just having good leadership that's proactive about these problems, that's helpful. And with Susan, it feels like there's just certain areas where she could have been more proactive about, or at the very least more communicative about, because so often creators are left in the dark about upcoming changes that might screw them over completely. Now, for those hoping that new leadership under Neil Mohan will drive positive change for the platform, I'll be honest with you, I'm concerned about the future of YouTube because of Neil Mohan's proclivities. As pointed out by Twitter user OneRatChi here, folks, the new boss of YouTube is literally the guy who came up with the idea of NFT integration. He's an all-around crypto/metaverse/Web3 shill. YouTube is going to get so much worse, speculates this individual. People have already been memeing about this, with this Twitter user posting, the new CEO of YouTube is an NFT and crypto head who pushed for the dislike button to be removed. YouTube literally can't win. And here's a meme of YouTubers celebrating that we have finally been freed from Susan's leadership. But here comes Neil Mohan. Oh, I wouldn't say freed, more like under new management. It's almost a monkey's paw kind of situation where we wish for a new leader, and we got the new leader, but he's a crypto bro. Now, I'm not sure if it was actually Neil who pushed for the removal of the dislike button, but Susan certainly approved it either way. And as much as I would have liked to think that, okay, maybe Neil is an NFT crypto bro, but maybe that stuff won't seep into YouTube, the fact of the matter is that Neil has already expressed interest in integrating crypto, NFT, metaverse stuff with the YouTube platform. This right here is a blog post that he published back in February 10th, 2022. A look at 2022 community collaboration and commerce. Scrolling down, you'll find an entire paragraph dedicated to his excitement for Web3. Web3 also opens up new opportunities for creators, he claims. We believe new technologies like blockchain and NFTs can allow creators to build deeper relationships with their fans. Is his definition of deeper relationships me turning video? Ah, yes, because nothing will deepen our bond and relationship than me scamming you guys. Together, they'll be able to collaborate on new projects and make money in ways not previously possible. It's all about money making without consideration for the ethics and morality behind what is being implemented. For example, giving a verifiable way for fans to own unique videos, photos, art, and even experiences from their favorite creators could be a compelling prospect for creators and their audiences. Sounds like a fantastic way to encourage creators to take advantage and exploit their communities, their audiences, to open the floodgates for creators to be able to scam their viewers. You just gave Logan Paul a massive erection. I'll repeat again, NFTs don't allow you to actually own the digital data that the NFTs claim you own. The NFT is just a receipt, and that's what you're buying. The videos, the photos, the art, they can be downloaded by anyone, and that's not against the law or anything of the sort. The real essence of this whole NFT landscape is the receipt to these videos, photos, art, whatever, the value of them hopefully becoming greater over time so that people who own these NFTs are able to buy and sell and profit of a speculative market. That's what it's about. They want me to turn my videos, my photos, my art, my whatevers into investment opportunities for you guys, and that's apparently gonna make us closer. It's gonna deepen our bond. Screw that. If that's the kind of future that Neil is enthusiastic about, then I am not excited about the prospect of YouTube being run by this man as the CEO, as the head of YouTube, I'm a little concerned about the future and the kinds of things that will be pushed on this platform in the next few years. He continues, there's a lot to consider in making sure we approach these new technologies responsibly, but we think there's incredible potential as well. Now look, if sometime down the line, things like crypto, blockchain, NFTs, Web3 are implemented in a way that actually feels useful and ethical, I might give them consideration, but there's no sign of that happening right now. The technology itself is interesting and fascinating, but currently its application is what people have issue with. Its application is all about making money through Ponzi schemes, through scams, through theft, through this landscape that is still very much a wild, wild west with very little in the way of regulation. I have nothing against the technology itself. I have nothing against evolutions of technology, period. But when the use of that technology feels exploitative and like it's actually useless and ultimately meant for people to be able to grift, for folks at the top of the pyramid to be able to take advantage of those below, that's when I'm like, let's not even consider this technology until we have proper regulations in place and proper applications in place, actually useful and beneficial applications. Now, Neil says here that he wants to approach these new technologies responsibly, but the fact that he isn't even detailing what that's like, and the fact that when executives are asked what is a good application of crypto, of Web3, of NFTs, and whatnot, they can't really give us a proper answer that makes us go, oh, I finally get it. I see why this is a positively impactful technology with morally correct applications. The fact that they can't even give us one good reason makes me skeptical that there is a positive future ahead when it comes to implementing these kinds of technologies that so far are primarily used to turn digital assets and creativity into investment opportunities that only very few will benefit from. Now look, I don't know what the future holds. I don't know how YouTube will pan out in the long term under Neil Mohan's leadership. But if this blog post and his inclinations are any indication, I think at the very least it's reasonable to be concerned. It's reasonable to be on my toes. It's reasonable for me to be a little paranoid. YouTube, for all its flaws, it's given me a lot. It's given audiences a lot. So I just want it to get better. You know, that's ultimately what I want. I don't want YouTube to go down. And, you know, my expression of concern isn't out of malice. It's out of genuinely caring about something that has provided a lot of good in my life. You know, this whole career that I have, I definitely owe to YouTube in many ways. And of course, to you, the audience. We've been able to connect because of this platform. But, you know, I just want it to get better. I want it to get more stable. I want it to be safer for creators. And I certainly don't want it to be filled and be rife with crypto, NFT, blockchain, Web3 bullshit, because that's just going to make the YouTube landscape less safe. We've already seen how other metaverse, NFT, blockchain, crypto landscapes have been, how often we get headlines about new scams, schemes, heists, crimes that occur through these landscapes and these technologies. Do we really want that to seep into YouTube? As it is, there are plenty of issues surrounding YouTube. Do we want to complicate that further by opening the doors to more malicious activity through Web3, blockchain, NFTs, crypto, etc.? Do we really want to add that on top of all of the complications that YouTube still has to work on? At the end of the day, Neil is an executive and he does serve higher entities. Neil's number one priority will be to appease the parent company of YouTube, Google, Alphabet, and whatnot. And to that end, yeah, I imagine that Neil will be looking for new monetization avenues, and he's heavily eyeing blockchain, NFTs, crypto, Web3. It's not about whether it'll make the platform better or not. It's about whether it'll make the platform more monetizable and whether they can keep the streak of this illusion of infinite growth going. That's the ultimate goal. It's about seeing those numbers go higher, which is why I cannot be hopeful that Neil will be apprehensive about the implementation of these new technologies, which is why I'm apprehensive about trusting him when he says that we're going to approach these new technologies responsibly, though I hope he proves me wrong. For now, though, this is everything you need to know about the leadership change that happened recently at YouTube, and this is sort of my take on potential implications and my worries and concerns. But let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on Neil taking over and what you think this will signal for the long-term future of YouTube. Do you think things will work out fine in the end? Are you concerned about the future? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.